Hey everyone!
Hello everyone! Welcome back to Hannah Daily English, the podcast where we teach you real English the way native speakers actually use it. I'm so happy you're here today.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? James here, and I am so excited about today's topic. Hannah, can I just say, this one is a personal favorite of mine.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because I used to mix these two words up all the time when I was younger, and nobody ever properly explained the difference to me. I was just guessing every single time.
Oh, James, that is so relatable. And honestly, that's exactly why we're doing this episode today. We're talking about hardly and barely, two words that look similar, sound similar, and honestly, confuse almost every English learner at some point.
And even some native speakers too, right? Let's be honest.
Totally honest. So here's what you're going to learn today. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what hardly and barely mean. You'll understand the three main ways to use them in real conversation. You'll know the most common mistakes to avoid. And most importantly, you'll be able to use both words naturally and confidently in your own English.
That's a lot of good stuff. And I'll tell you right now, these words come up constantly in everyday conversation, in movies, in books, in casual chats with friends. Once you learn them properly, you're going to hear them everywhere.
Before we jump in, we want to ask you a question. Have you ever used hardly or barely before? Maybe you've heard them and weren't sure what they meant. Leave us a comment and tell us. We love reading your messages.
And if you're getting value from this podcast, please give us a like and subscribe to Hannah Daily English. It really helps us reach more learners just like you, and it means the world to us. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
All right, so let's start with the most important thing you need to understand about both of these words. Both hardly and barely are what we call negative adverbs. But, and this is the key, they are not the same as not. They mean something closer to almost not or only just.
Right. So if I say I can't swim, that means I have zero ability to swim. But if I say I can barely swim, that means I can swim, but only just. Maybe I manage to stay above the water, but just barely.
Perfect example. So the structure is simple. You use it like this. Subject plus can, could, plus barely, hardly, plus verb. Or subject plus verb plus barely, hardly, plus adverb.
Let me give you a real example from my own life. I am not a morning person at all, so I often say, I can hardly keep my eyes open before 8 a.m.
That is so you, James.
It's completely true. I can hardly keep my eyes open, meaning it's almost impossible for me. I'm almost unable to do it.
And I would say something similar. Some mornings I wake up and I can barely function before my first coffee. I can barely function, meaning I'm functioning, but only just. It's very difficult.
So you can see that both words have a very similar meaning here. They both mean almost not or with great difficulty. And that's what makes them confusing, because in many situations, you can use either one.
Exactly. But they're not always completely interchangeable. We'll talk about the differences later. For now, let's focus on what they share.
Here's another example from everyday life. I was at a concert last week and the music was so loud. I could hardly hear my friend speaking to me. Could hardly hear her. Almost impossible to hear her.
Oh, I love that example. And you could also say, I could barely hear her, and it means the same thing in that situation. Almost impossible to hear.
So, listeners, let me ask you this. Can you think of a situation in your own life where you could hardly or barely do something? Maybe you were so tired you could hardly walk, or so nervous you could barely speak?
Think of that situation. And here's something important about the grammar. Both hardly and barely already have a negative meaning built in, so you do not add another negative. You don't say, I can't hardly, or I can't barely. That's a double negative, and it's not standard English.
This is a big one. We'll talk more about this in the common mistakes section. But just remember, hardly and barely already mean almost not, so you don't need to add not or can't with them in standard English.
Let's look at the negative form another way. Instead of saying, I can't understand him at all, you can make it softer and more natural by saying, I can hardly understand him, or I can barely understand him. It sounds more conversational, more like a native speaker. Much more natural. Okay, listeners, I want you to try something right now. Say this sentence out loud. I can barely hear you. Now say this one. I can hardly believe it. Go ahead, say them out loud. It doesn't matter if you're on the bus or in your kitchen. Practice is practice. That's right. And notice how naturally those sentences flow. They don't feel stiff or textbooky. They feel like something a real person would say.
Because they are. These are sentences I say all the time in real life. Before we move on, can you write your own sentence using barely or hardly in the comments? Tell us something in your life that you can barely or can hardly do. We genuinely love reading them.
Okay, so now let's build on what we just learned and look at another really common way that native speakers use hardly and barely. And this is when we're talking about time or quantity, how much of something or how often.
Yes, this is where things get really interesting. So hardly and barely don't just describe ability, they also describe frequency, amount, and time.
Let me give you some examples. If I want to say that something almost never happens, I can say, I hardly ever see him anymore. She barely gets any sleep these days.
Those sound so natural. I hardly ever see him. That means I see him very rarely, almost never. There's a strong sense of almost zero.
And she barely gets any sleep, that means she's getting sleep, but almost not. Very little, not enough.
Now, here's something interesting about hardly. When we talk about frequency, how often something happens, we almost always use hardly rather than barely. We say hardly ever, not barely ever. That's just how the language has settled.
Good tip. Let's repeat that. For frequency, how often, use hardly ever, not barely ever. It sounds unnatural to most native speakers.
But for quantity, how much of something, both work. I barely have any money, or I hardly have any money. Both are natural.
Let me share a personal example. I grew up in a small town, and I can say honestly, we hardly ever had traffic jams because there were almost no cars. That's such a good one.
That's such a good one. And I can say, when I was a student, I barely had enough money for food at the end of the month. Classic student life.
Oh, we've all been there. So notice how barely works really well when we're talking about having just enough or almost not enough of something. Barely enough money, barely enough time, barely enough food.
That connection to just enough, or really not quite enough, is very typical of barely. It often carries this idea of something being right at the limit.
Right at the edge, like I barely passed the exam. I passed, but only just. I was right at the minimum.
Oh, that's a perfect one. I barely passed. That's so different from I passed easily. When you barely pass something, you're right on the border.
Okay, let's do a quick game. I'm going to say a situation, and you tell me, would you naturally use hardly or barely here? Ready, James?
Let's go.
Situation 1. How often do you eat fast food?
I hardly ever eat fast food. Because we're talking about frequency, how often. Hardly ever is the natural choice.
Perfect. Situation 2. You almost ran out of time during a test.
Oh, I barely had enough time to finish. We're talking about having just enough, or really not quite enough, of something. Barely fits beautifully.
Excellent. Listeners, are you following along? Try making your own sentences. Write them in the comments. Tell us something you hardly ever do, or something you barely have enough of. We read every single comment.
Here's a quick review of what we've covered in this section. First, both words describe frequency and quantity, not just ability. Second, for frequency, hardly ever is the most natural pattern. Third, barely often fits situations where something is right at the limit, just enough or not quite enough.
Beautiful summary. Let's keep going. Okay, we've talked about ability and frequency and quantity. Now I want to show you a third way that native speakers use hardly. And this one is a bit different and honestly, a lot of fun.
Oh, I love this use. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about using hardly to express surprise, disbelief, or even gentle disagreement. This is a very conversational, very natural pattern.
Yes, like when someone says something and you want to push back politely or show that you find it hard to believe.
Exactly. For example, imagine your friend says, I think learning English is easy. And you could respond, Well, you can hardly say that learning a language is easy.
Oh, that's great. You can hardly say that. It means it's not really fair to say that, or that's going too far.
Another example, imagine someone blames you for something. You could say, I'm hardly responsible for what happened. Meaning, it's not really fair to say I'm responsible. I'm barely responsible, or really not responsible at all.
This is such a natural pattern. I hardly think that's fair. That's hardly a surprise. It's hardly my fault.
And notice the tone here. It's not aggressive or rude. It's more like polite pushback, civilized disagreement. It sounds educated and natural.
In British English especially, you hear this a lot. That's hardly ideal, is it? Meaning, that's not really a good situation.
Yes, and hardly in these situations can also be used with a little bit of sarcasm or irony. Like if something is obvious, you might say, well, that's hardly shocking news. Meaning, obviously, anyone could have predicted that.
Like when your football team loses again for the 5th time, well, that's hardly surprising at this point.
Perfect example. Now, this third use is more specific to hardly. You don't typically use barely in this way. Barely doesn't carry this sense of disbelief or gentle disagreement, so this is one of the real differences between the two words.
Good point. Barely is more about the physical or practical sense of almost not, while hardly stretches into these more expressive, conversational uses.
Let's try a little practice together, James. I'm going to say something, and you respond using hardly in this expressive way.
Okay.
Okay, James, I think you should work 14 hours a day.
I hardly think that's a healthy lifestyle. That's hardly reasonable.
Love it. Okay, one more. This food tastes amazing.
If I disagreed, I might say, I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's hardly exceptional.
Perfect. That's so natural. Listeners, can you try this? Think of a sentence where you want to gently push back or express disbelief. Write it in the comments using hardly. We want to see your creative sentences.
Let's review this section. Number 1, hardly can be used to express disbelief, gentle disagreement, or irony. Number 2, this use is more specific to hardly, not typically barely. Number 3, the tone is polite and natural, not aggressive.
And speaking out loud really helps with tone. Say these sentences out loud and notice how they feel. That's hardly fair. I hardly think that's true. Well, it's hardly a surprise, is it?
Say them with feeling. English is a language you feel, not just a language you memorize.
Okay, time for everyone's favorite part, common mistakes. And I want to say right up front, making mistakes is how you learn. James and I have both made these mistakes. Every learner makes these mistakes, so don't be hard on yourself. Just learn from them.
Exactly. We're going to look at 4 common mistakes that learners, and sometimes even native speakers, make with hardly and barely.
Mistake number 1, the double negative.
Oh, this one is so common. It sounds like this. I can't barely understand him. I don't hardly ever go there. These are grammatically incorrect in standard English.
Because remember, hardly and barely already have negative meaning built in. They mean almost not. So adding can't or don't creates a double negative, which gives the wrong meaning or just sounds wrong.
Correct version. Wrong, I can't barely understand him. Right, I can barely understand him. Wrong, I don't hardly ever go there. Right, I hardly ever go there.
Easy fix. Just remove the extra negative. Hardly and barely are doing the work for you.
Mistake number 2, confusing hardly ever with hard ever.
Oh yes, this one. Some learners write hard ever instead of hardly ever, but hard ever is not a phrase in English. The adverb form is hardly, not hard.
So, wrong, I hard ever watch TV. Right, I hardly ever watch TV.
Hard is an adjective or adverb meaning with a lot of effort, like I worked hard. But hardly is completely different. It means almost not.
And this is a funny thing about English, right? Hard and hardly are almost opposites. I work hard means I work a lot with great effort, but I hardly work means I almost don't work at all.
Yes, that's such a great point. They look related, but they mean almost opposite things. That trips up so many learners.
Mistake number 3, using barely for frequency.
So as we talked about earlier, for frequency, how often, native speakers almost always say hardly ever. Saying barely ever sounds awkward and unnatural to most English speakers.
Wrong, I barely ever go to the gym. Right, I hardly ever go to the gym.
Now, some native speakers do say barely ever occasionally. Language isn't always perfectly consistent. But if you want to sound most natural and polished, use hardly ever for frequency.
Good rule of thumb.
Mistake number 4. Putting hardly or barely in the wrong position in the sentence.
These adverbs usually go before the main verb or between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. They don't go at the end of the sentence.
Examples. Wrong, I understood him hardly. Right, I could hardly understand him. Or, I hardly understood him. Wrong, she finished the exam barely. Right, she barely finished the exam.
Keep them close to the verb they're modifying. That's where they sound most natural.
Listeners, which of these mistakes have you made before? Don't be shy. Leave a comment. Honestly, it helps other learners to know they're not alone when they make the same mistakes.
And remember, every mistake is a step toward getting it right. You've got this.
Okay, we have reached the end of today's episode. Can you believe how much we covered? I'm honestly really proud of you for sticking with us all the way through.
Same. Let's do a quick recap of the 3 main things we learned today.
Number 1, both hardly and barely mean almost not or with great difficulty. They describe situations where something is almost impossible, almost none, or right at the limit.
Number 2, for frequency and time, hardly ever is the most natural native speaker phrase, and barely is especially strong when describing quantity, having just enough or not quite enough of something.
Number 3, hardly has a special expressive use in conversation. You can use it to show disbelief, gentle disagreement, or irony. That's hardly fair. You can hardly blame me for that. This is a very natural conversational pattern.
And don't forget the most important mistake to avoid, the double negative. You do not say can't barely or don't hardly. Just drop the extra negative and you're good.
Here's a little question for you to reflect on. Which of these uses do you think will be most useful in your life? Think about it, and maybe practice that one first.
And write your thoughts in the comments. We genuinely love hearing from you. Your comments make this community so special and warm.
Before we go, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like. It really does help the podcast reach more learners. And share it with a friend who's learning English. You'd be doing them a real favor.
Subscribe to Hannah Daily English if you haven't already. We put out new episodes regularly, and every single one is packed with real, practical English that you can use in your life.
You're doing amazing. Learning a language is genuinely hard work. And the fact that you're here, listening, practicing, putting in the effort, that matters. We see you and we're cheering for you.
Keep going. You're closer to fluency than you think.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time.
See you next time.